Hi, hello, and welcome to The Undoing. The Undoing podcast. Whew, today is going to be a rough one. Not going to lie. But this is something I know I need to do. So, thank you for your patience, as Cynthia would say. Normally, my friend Cynthia would be on here with me, and she's my partner in crime with this. See, right here. She's right here. But as you can see, she's not on here to banter back and forth with me. We had a time set to meet to record today, and I know she would not be mad if I did not keep this. And I also know that she would not be mad that I'm recording this early. But at the same time, I was like, if I'm going to do it, I got to do it now. I have to do this. So the last time I talked to Cynthia was Saturday. And she and I were voice noting back and forth like we do. And she told me that she got out of her house on Saturday and she got to go see one of her girlfriends and give her a hug. She said she hugged her like 3 times. And they went to the store and had lunch, and she hadn't been out of her house in a week because of the weather. She said when she went home, she was trying to get back up her driveway and it was still really icy. So she said she spun out and it scared the bejesus out of her. That's not a word she would use. It scared the shit out of her is what she said. And she ended up just staying at the bottom of her driveway, and she lives in a duplex. So she was like, my neighbor, there's 3 cars over there. Monday or Tuesday, it's going to get above freezing on Monday. So between the 3 cars that are over there and them going up and down the driveway, I should be able to get out by Tuesday. So I'm just going to leave my car down there. And she told me all about all the calls she had going on Sunday. And I knew I wouldn't hear from her on Sunday because she was super busy. So I sent her a TikTok video like we do back and forth Sunday evening at 8:30 my time. And I sent her that. And then I didn't hear from her on Monday. And again, I didn't think anything about it because she's usually pretty busy on Mondays. And so Tuesday morning on my way to school, I was listening to another TikTok video and I sent her that. And I was like, let's go. It's going to be a great year. And then I got a text message from a mutual friend of ours, whom she is the reason that I met Cynthia. And she said, hey, are you okay? And I was like, yes. Why? And the minute she sent that, I knew. I knew it was about Cynthia because I had just met with Marina last week and told her Cynthia and I had started a podcast and we had a launch date and all the things that we were doing and how much we were going to change the world together. And she said, I've got some news that's going to be difficult to type. Can you call me or are you at work? And I said, I'm at lunch duty. Give me about 10 minutes and I can call you. And it was the end of lunch duty. And so I looked at my co-counselor. I was like, hey, I got to go. I got to go make a phone call. And she asked if it was about Bella. And I was like, no, I don't know what's wrong. So I went to my office and I called Marina and she asked me when the last time was I talked to Cynthia. And I told her it was Saturday and she told me that they found her deceased Monday in her house. She lived in a duplex. And this was on Tuesday. Today is Thursday. So Tuesday morning, Cynthia's mom called Frequence, which is the mushroom drink that we all use and affiliate marketing with and all that stuff, and let them know that Cynthia had passed away. And that was how Marina found out. And then Marina called me which I was so thankful that she called me because I wouldn't have wanted to find out any other way. So then from there, it's like a domino effect. I called our mutual friend Lori. Lori and I roomed together whenever we were in Fort Lauderdale. And, sorry, I need some tissues. And Lori had also signed up to do Cynthia's program. The Mabry Method, I think, is what we should call it now. Because we have to make sure that this lives on. What she was doing, what she was learning, what she was teaching others. We have to make sure that this lives on because she was changing lives. And she had such big plans and big goals to change lives. And I think that's like, I just don't understand why, and I just, I don't know, I don't really have words, but I promised her, I was so excited to see her today. We were going to catch up. She was going to tell me all about her call she had on Sunday with Danny and Ian and all the things that she was doing in that community. And we were going to record this and we were going to laugh until our stomachs hurt. And I probably peed my pants because that's just what we did. We had a vision to be the #1 downloaded podcast. And it's on my bingo board, my bingo vision board for 2026. And it's still there. I will keep it and I will honor her and I will continue. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little bright. #1 downloaded podcast right there with my friend Cynthia. I think this is a way for me to have her legacy live on and make sure that what she was doing doesn't end with her. So much I just don't understand. And I guess I just don't have the words. I don't know what this podcast will look like after the 3 episodes that we recorded together. I do know that I plan to continue with the launch date of, hopefully you're seeing this on March 13th. That is my plan. We'll see what that actually looks like. She was the queen of muscle testing and knowing when and how she was supposed to do things, or we were supposed to do things. I am the student when it comes to muscle testing. Not nearly as fast and accurate as she is in that. However, we'll get there. I equated muscle testing and learning this Mabry Method to waiting tables. And she was like, that is such a great analogy. And I told her, I was like, I waited tables forever, especially when I was in college. And I was like, when you first learn to wait tables or go to a new restaurant, you have to learn the menu. You have to learn how to enter the information. You have to learn like all the ins and outs, ticket flow, this, that, and the other. There's like so many things you have to learn. And then once you get it, after you've been with that trainer and you get it, it's like second nature, right? You're using your subconscious. You're not really consciously having to do these things because it's like breathing. You know how to do it. And she was like, girl, I'm 10 years ahead of you in waiting tables. I'm like, but I want to be there now. And she was like, I know you do. But I will say, I was reading back through our messages and listening to some voice notes of hers. And she told me, she knew that she was supposed to use her voice for something. She loved to sing. She loved to do all the things. And she knew she was supposed to use her voice for something. And she wanted to do a podcast for a really, really, really long time. And she was so thankful that I was the one she got to do the podcast with. Me too, friend. Me too. I just wish it had been longer. I only got to know her for 10 months. 10 months, that's it. So many people got her for a lot longer, and I am so happy for them. I just wish I could have had her for longer too. Like I said, we met at Marina's retreat back in April of 2025. And it's funny. She wasn't in my group whenever we got split into groups, and we were just like, sitting out back on the porch talking, and I was like, so where are you from? And she was like, Nashville. I was like, oh, I'm from like right outside of Louisville, so I'm not that far, maybe 3 hours. She was like, we'll have to get together. I was like, yeah, I would love that. And, me thinking like that's probably never, ever going to happen, right? I'm going to have to blow my nose. Sorry, guys. You can cut this out, mute it, whatever. I don't care, but this is real life, and I'm crying, so I'm going to blow my nose. Okay, so met her in April, and I think we became social media friends after that. Had some interactions on some posts here and there. And then I remember seeing one of her posts, and a mutual friend of ours that was at the retreat as well had said how Cynthia had helped her overcome her fear of flying. And I was like, holy hell, I need that in my life. I have worked really hard to overcome that fear, and I realized like if people thought they were going to die every day, they wouldn't go get on a plane. So I need to stop thinking like that. And I was a lot better, but, there were some other things in life that I really needed to overcome. So I reached out to her, and I was like, hey, tell me about what you do. And she was like, it's so good to hear from you. Here's, normally I would send you my calendar link, as I went back and looked through our Facebook messages. I would send you my calendar link, but I'm house sitting for a friend this week. Let's just do this old school, and we'll catch up here. I was like, okay, cool. So we set up a time to chat. It was right after I got out of school in June. And she was like 15 minutes. I think we were on the phone for an hour. Should have known then we were going to be like best friends. And I purchased some sessions to work with her for me personally. And holy crap, the stuff that we carry and we don't even know that we're carrying it. Yeah, that's a whole other story for a whole other time. But she helped me release a whole lot of stuff. And then I was like, hey, I know I got 3 sessions with you. Can I give my last one to my daughter? She really needs it. And she was like, I'm going to see your daughter for free because you also joined the program to become a practitioner of this Mabry Method that one of her other friends said. And I was like, we need to, that's what this needs to be called, is the Mabry Method. And so she did. And like my daughter has a lot of me in her, and she had been struggling with a tumbling block off and on for years. And if you know me, you know this to be true. And she worked with her, and the next day Bella went and was tumbling without a spot. Not the way that Bella would want to be tumbling. However, she was throwing tucks by herself again and doing things that she hadn't done in a while. So I was like, you're like magic. She was like, I mean, as much as we'd like to say that it's magic, it does take some time for all of this to like set in and to process through, all the things. So she and I became fast best friends, and chatted on a regular basis, as I know a lot of her friends did. She had weekly calls set up with a lot of them, and she was just amazing. So, we decided we were going to start a podcast together, and we have been working on this since September or October of 25. I think we started throwing the idea around in September. And so over fall break, she and I met in the middle at this little Amish place down in Kentucky somewhere. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. And we were there for, I think we got there at 11 their time when it opened, which would have been 12 my time. And I think we were there for like 3 or 4 hours and just hung out and chatted and had the best time. And we did not get a picture. Didn't. Got a picture of our toes, but didn't get a picture together. And we were both on the way home. We were like, oh my gosh, we did not get a picture together. And I was like, next time we will definitely get a picture together. But that was the last time I saw her in person. So I think that was like October 1st. Gave her a big old hug, several big old hugs. And then, yeah. It was right by the Kentucky, they have like kangaroos. Kentucky down under or something. I think that sounds right. Anyhow, the details are a little fuzzy of specifically. I can see it, but I can't tell you the name of it. But we walked over there to check it out, and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to bring Will back here. He would love this. And it's not that far. It was only like an hour and 20-minute drive, I think, for her. We tried to make it right in the middle. This hair, oh my gosh, I did get it cut. And if I would have curled it, it would be fixing so much better, but I didn't really fix it today. So she would be laughing at that because I've had hair issues every freaking episode. Oh my gosh. Okay, so anyhow, we started really like planning this in October, November, came up with a name, then came up with another name, then came up with another name because the ones we really liked were already taken. And we've like hit the ground running and recorded some episodes, and we're ready to start dripping some nuggets of goodness to release this podcast. But I think what was going to be episode 1 will not be episode 1 anymore. I think this one, which is technically episode 4, will be episode 1. Because how do you set up for a loss like this if you haven't launched yet? And you just release it as it was, and then I have to come out and tell you that she's not here to do this with me anymore. So, gosh, there were so many things I wanted to say, and I was like, I'm just going to talk. So, what I will say is, mind you, I only got to know Cynthia for 10 months. We felt like we'd known each other our whole lives. She said I was her soul sister. And I was going through her Facebook post last night. And I don't know that we talked about it on any of the other episodes. But she was a widow. And her husband, Rob, who she's now reunited with, passed away like 17 years ago, I want to say. Something like that. And Cynthia was 47, so I think it would be almost 18 years ago, because I think she said she was 29 whenever he passed away, if I remember correctly. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. She never fully told me the story about, what happened with Rob, and I figured when she wanted to, she would. But she put a lot of her story out on the internet, and I'm going to look at my other screen and read to you some of the things that she wrote, because I think it describes how a lot of us are feeling without her here. Okay. So this post was actually made May 7th of 2025, which was after I met her. And it said, the day started with the brutal reminder that none of us are promised more time. A childhood friend took his last breath early this morning, and a dear family soul has just entered hospice. Life is strange, and grief is no stranger to me. If I could whisper anything into your ear today, it is this. Please make peace with the ones that you love. Say what you need to say. Love louder. Hug longer. The time we get in this body on this earth with these people, it's a vapor. That little dash between your birth and your exit, it is everything. Be soft. Be honest. Be here. Whispering peace into the spaces that you feel hollow today. You are not alone. How true is that, though? None of us, well, I shouldn't say that. I would say most people in life are no stranger to grief. Maybe not in the way that she experienced it. But I know I'm not. Like, my biological mom died when I was 6. How do you start with that, right? She was the third in a 9-month span of deaths. It was my papa, my dad's dad, who died on my dad's 50th birthday. And then it was my mama. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. I've got it wrong. It was my mama who died the day after my 6th birthday. And then it was my mom who died on April 12th, the year I turned 6. Which also, by the way, happens to be Bella's birthday, is April 12th. And then it was my papa, my dad's dad, who died on my dad's 50th birthday. All the year I was 6. I have some more I'm going to share. Maybe I can actually, share my screen. Perfect. So this is the post that I just read. Look at that face. Look at her. She's just the cutest little thing. She's staring right at you, isn't she? Okay, so there's that one. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. I don't want to. I'm going to do this one. I've got one more. Let's share it. So she was talking about moving. Gosh, and this was in 2019. So a long time ago. I didn't know her then, but she found this picture, and this is her and her husband, Rob, whenever they were on their honeymoon. She said, "Look what I found in my drawers during the move. Talk about a flashback. This was on our honeymoon in Cancun. He called me Bo Derek for weeks until I took those damn braids out." I can hear her cackling about that. 11 years today he's been gone, y'all. So 11 years on May 17th, 2019. 11, that would have been 2008. I wonder if it'll always feel like yesterday and a lifetime ago. That's the only way I have ever been able to explain it. Please make time for the people who are important to you, my friends. I can't stress this enough. We have got to stop the glorification of busy. Everyone is busy. Guess what, though? Nobody is too busy to send a text, a DM, or make a call. I promise you this. You do not want to feel the pain or guilt or regret when you get the news that they are gone, the pain of guilt or regret when you get the news that they are gone. I totally get it though. Some lessons are best learned through personal experience. Hell, I was the hardest headed know-it-all before Rob died. Couldn't learn from someone else's journey. I had to have all my lessons served firsthand. Well, here's some perspective on a few areas I got schooled in. Death humbled me to the core. It showed me what matters, truly. It completely removed my tolerance for those who choose to create their own misery. It forced me to be grateful for the tiny things. Those details are what matter. It reminded me how precious our time is here. We never know when we will take our last breath. It taught me to pay attention to those who have traveled a similar path. It showed me what grace and compassion mean. It revealed that I have a lot to learn. It grabbed me by the ass and said, "Wake up and get busy living, girl." Remember, my friends, where you are and how you show up in life is always a choice. I hope today you choose joy and happiness. And if you're not where you want to be, change it. You're not a damn tree, as she would say. Squeeze those you love extra tight for me, peeps. So, there's so much I could say about my friend Cynthia. She was such a light in this world. And the world is definitely a sad place without her. Such a sad place without her. In my upsettiness yesterday, I said out loud to her, "I don't know how to do this without you." She was the one I always asked questions to or laughed with, and like I said, you would think that we had known each other forever. And we had been friends for 10 months. 10 months. I don't know what this podcast will look like going forward. I do know that the episodes that we created will be put out there. After that, I don't know. But we'll figure it out. Everything's figure outable. It won't be the same without her at all. But she told me, she was like, "Jenny, our podcast is going to blow up second quarter. That's when it's all going to get big. And we are going to be on stages, and we are going to be on other people's podcasts, and we are going to be the next Ed Milet and Mel Robbins." And how do I do that without her? I don't know. But I do know that I'll try. I'll figure it out for her. Because this needs to go on. This needs to live. I so wish I had a picture with her, hugging her. Don't get me wrong. She sent me this picture. And she said she was in a Jenny sandwich. We were on this platform trying to figure it out when we first got started. And somehow I had myself on there twice. And she said, "I'm in a Jenny sandwich." Oh. I don't know what this will look like. I don't know what we'll have it going forward. But I will keep on keeping on for my dear friend Cynthia. Because that's what we are here to do. We were put on this earth to help others. To help heal others. To help others heal, actually. Gosh, I miss her so much. My dear friend was 47. Another fun fact, it's the same age my mom was when she died. Oh. And one thing Cynthia helped me with was after I got past the age of 47, I felt like a fish out of water. Well, my subconscious did, apparently. Because when you have a parent that passes away, for some reason in your mind, you feel like that's what's going to happen to you. Like, oh my gosh, my mom died when she was 47. I'm not going to make it past 47. I did. She should have too. She should be here with me still. So. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and blow my nose. I don't know how to end this. Maybe I'll end it the way that she would end her messages with me. Ta-ta. And toodaloo for now. That's right. I love your face. In honor and memory of my dear friend Cynthia,